Welcome to this video. Mapping controls. You've identified your biggest risks. Now for the most important part, doing something about them. How do you choose the right tools for the job? In this video, we'll map risks to ISO 27001 Annex A controls, crosswalk controls to NIST CSF categories, create a defensible statement of applicability, use AI tools for control justifications. By the end of this video, you will be able to map prioritized risks to ISO IEC 27001 Annex A controls, align ISO/IEC 27001 controls with NIST CSF functions, develop a defensible statement of applicability with justified inclusions and exclusions. Utilize AI tools to create clear, auditable control justifications. Once your risk assessment has identified and prioritized your top risks, the next logical step is risk treatment. This involves selecting and implementing security controls to mitigate those risks. Link top risks to Annex A. The primary reference for this in the ISO world is Annex A of the ISO/IEC 27001 standard. This is where the risk assessment process directly informs your control selection. For example, if your heat matrix identified unauthorized access to sensitive data as a critical risk, you would map this risk directly to specific controls in Annex A. This would include controls from the access control family, such as A.5.15, access control, and potentially technical controls like A.8.24, use of cryptography. This mapping creates a clear, defensible link between a specific business risk and the specific safeguard you have implemented to address it, which is the essence of a risk-based security program. Crosswalk to NIST CSF categories. To build a truly unified governance program, it is essential to demonstrate how your controls align with multiple frameworks. A common requirement is to map your ISO/IEC 27001 controls to the functions of the NIST Cybersecurity Framework. This crosswalk exercise is made easier by the new attribute tags in ISO/IEC 27002. For example, the Annex A control for cryptography, which we selected to mitigate our data access risk, directly supports the protect function of the NIST CSF. The control for logging and monitoring would map to the detect function. By creating this mapping, you develop a unified control set that satisfies multiple standards simultaneously. This allows you to communicate your security posture using the language of NIST to a US-based executive team, while still maintaining your ISO/IEC 27001 certification for international clients, all without duplicating your efforts. Handling inclusions and exclusions. A critical output of the ISO/IEC 27001 process is the Statement of Applicability, or SOA. This is not simply a checklist, it is a formal declaration of your control environment. For every single control listed in Annex A, your SOA must state whether you have included it in your ISMS. If a control is included, you must provide a reference back to the risk or business requirement that justifies its implementation. More importantly, if you choose to exclude a control, you must provide a robust and logical justification. For example, a fully cloud-native company could justifiably exclude controls related to physical data center security. A weak justification, however, such as "it's too expensive," will not pass an audit. The SOA is the definitive document that demonstrates you have thoughtfully and systematically tailored the framework to your specific organizational context.
Let's make the concept of the statement of applicability concrete by using an AI assistant to help us draft the justifications. So I am prompting right now the Gemini here. I'm creating a statement of applicability for ISO 27001, for Control A523, information security for use of cloud services, draft a justification for inclusion. Organization relies heavily on cloud services. For all core operations, our risk register identifies cloud data breach as a critical risk. And this is where it goes pretty interesting, because on the one hand, you said that there is some critical risk, okay? There is even some risk ID that we are referring to in our register, that's okay. But then the statement of applicability is pretty important document as to the scope, and it's also important document for the auditors, external auditors, to say, for example, if there are any exclusions from your certificate, right, as to your organization, and then might be required if you want to present the certificate to some clients, right, or maybe even the specific statement of applicability, which could be very important for you to do it right, okay? And then you said that in a case of uses of cloud services, you need this justification for inclusion, right? I think it's the reason why I think it's amazing is that you have said that it's actually critical risk, but it's actually presenting it in a very nice way, that we are implementing those controls because we want to address this risk. And this control is actually very good because we are responding. And this is one of the reasons why we are implementing even this whole system in the first place, right? So as you can see, this process creates a defensible and auditable record of your control decisions, directly linking them back to your risk assessment and business context.
Let's do a quick recap of the key learnings from this video. Here's what we've learned. Risk assessment results directly inform control selection. Annex A provides a comprehensive control framework. Crosswalking enables multi-framework compliance. Statement of applicability requires justified decisions. AI tools accelerate defensible documentation.